Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome to a brand new release from Ice Lava Games. This is the Viking Way. It's Mount and Blade with naval combat, which is a pretty cool concept. It's in early access, just released there. So as always, when it comes to early access titles, things will change. There will be bugs. This is definitely a fun little title. Also, as it just released, for the first week that this is out, it's 20% off on Steam if you want to check that yourself. And it's pretty affordable as far as titles go. This is me, Ragnarsson. Grandfather, I will leave now. Like I said, there are some bugs, like in the grammar, right off the bat. You are an ambitious young man. Your journey will be fun and full of excitement and dangerous. Be prepared. But don't forget that greatest legends are not always made by bloodshed. I will remember. Lord Ragnarsson, your ship is ready. Before you go, my child, take this amulet, which belonged to your father. He left it with me before he went away. It is a symbol of our house. Many leaders should be able to recognize it. Only the Jarl should wear it. But I give it to you now, hoping you would someday become a true leader, just like your father was. Means a lot, I'll try my best. Now go. May the gods guide you. Sailors, get on board and we will leave before dusk. Yes, Lord. Wait a minute, Lord Ragnarsson. Eric, what are you doing here? Pardon me, Lord. I would like to go with you. I'm afraid that is not possible. We need warriors. But Lord, you may not be a qualified warrior, but great legends are not always made by bloodshed. You'll need a brain, like me. Brains. It is October. Okay. Start to sound like my grandfather. Lord, except for the combat skills, which I'm sure you are the master. There are many other things you need to learn. For example, sailing, trading, diplomacy. You're saying that you will handle all of these? I spend most of my free time digging in books, to gain wisdom. I hope these knowledges can serve you someday. And now I see that opportunity. Please, let me on board. Thank you, Lord. I will prove myself. Alright, so our main quest: conquer all cities. Easier said than done. We've added Eric as a new teammate, and we'll start with that. So, quests, that's it so far. But as we get going into this, more quests will emerge. Some by default, some by encounters. This is a realistic map of the north of Europe in this period of time. So the Irish, the Northumbrians, the Mercians, all across the way. You can see at this point the map is bare outside of what is regional to the Norwegians, the Swedes, and so on, the Danes. We are here in Ribe, so we are among the region that is the Danes. We are independent to start out, but everything around us is owned or occupied by others. And if we want to own and occupy it, that's gonna put us at war with any of those factions. And speaking of factions, we can actually get a nice even view as to what they have. I have 5 troops. Earl Canute has 458. Sigrid has 368 and 7 territories. I have 1. Just the one settlement that we open with. So we are in for a bit of trouble. Now, the big thing to watch out for early on in this game is the relation. Anything below 0 will turn it into hostile. So we're not hostile with these nations yet, but we are hostile with the Anglo-Saxon outlaws and the Norse bandits. And the Norse bandits are flipping everywhere. They are everywhere. The early setup in this game is, unless you get good at naval combat and sailing, those Norse bandits in particular, they will end your campaign very quickly. And then you'll restart, you'll figure it out, you'll be better, and then they'll end your campaign again, and again, and again, until you figure out how to properly deal with them. I'm still working on those and agains, so we'll see if I've learned enough yet to handle those guys, but I can definitely tell you that unless you've figured out how to work miracles, you might want to focus on the naval combat side of things and sailing early on. Otherwise, you're going to have your hands full. Alright, so my party has Eric plus 4 other peasants and a simple Norse recruit. Their upgrades, they cost that much silver as they upgrade, but otherwise they upgrade relatively easy. They do require experience. You can see 1200 for this recruit and 1200 for the peasants. That doesn't take too long to get, so they'll start leveling up pretty easy on their own. My first campaign I focused on getting a large team and working on leveling them up, expecting that they were going to be the key, and eventually they will. I don't think they're the key at the beginning, so I will not be focusing too heavily on my party or upgrading my party. What I'm going to focus on, as I said, is our ship. This is the only ship we have right now. It's a cargo boat. It's very simple. Firepower is only a 5, durability's low. It doesn't fight well, and those Norse bandits are everywhere. Speed is only a 5, sail power is only a 6, the turning is only a 5. It does not do well in combat, but because those bandits are everywhere, you need something better than this. Problem? Well, we can't afford, even with 3,000 silver, to buy a better boat right off the bat. I'll tell you that without going into that screen. We have to upgrade this one right away. We have to focus on this right away to make this simple cargo boat into something a bit more effective. I'd love to add supplies and storage space and focus early on trade and building an income that way. It's nice and all, but you've got to be able to fly like the wind, realistically. So, first thing, I want to add 2 to our basic speed, as upgrading our oars will do that for us. That's the only option that you get through this one. The next one is sailing. You can get plus 3 sail efficiency, and that already uses almost everything we have. But this is going to drastically improve this ship. Speed 7, sail efficiency now 9. So 5 and 6. That's a big jump from where that was. It's still not that great otherwise, but there is another thing we can do to improve what we're capable of out there, and that is going to be through, well, wait, hold on, let's go ahead and put everybody on there. Inventory. This, well, that's me. I do have the amulet, and it's got a nice sell price. And I keep thinking about whether I should sell it or not, but I think eventually it's going to have an important role, and I think you could put it on. I can't wear it yet because we're not that great. And it ends up taking up one of your storage spaces on the ship, which is ridiculous. That little family amulet occupies an entire storage space? Right. Well, anyway. I haven't figured out how to change the name yet, but I am Map Agent. Okay, fine. Have it your way. We have no armor, we have terrible weaponry. We really want to start this game with the ability to put all of our points into sailing, to stay alive, to go long enough, to make money, to then invest into other things. To be effective raiding, you need a fleet of ships and a large number of troops supporting you that have developed a little bit and are capable of fighting. So the start point is sailing up and down the shoreline and conducting in trade. We only have 500 silver left after trying to make the ship capable of dealing with those Norse bandits and not just dying the first time we step offshore. So we don't have much left. We're going to buy some wheat, we're going to buy some vegetables. This is our homeland, by the way, and some glass. But the merchant here operates much the same as the rest of them. That's going to cost me 482. That's going to use most of what we have left as we head out, but it's going to give us something that we can go and sell elsewhere. Now, each settlement, each town has different goods and different needs, and based on those needs you can get better, like surge pricing on items. While that's one way to do it, you have to go kind of back and forth a lot. You really have to go back and forth a lot in order to do that, and you might have to figure out a specific route on these guys have this supply, these guys have this need, which correlates with that, and maybe structuring a route that you could follow for a handful of months over and over again and make a ton of cash that way. If I sit down with pen and paper and start writing down who has what and who needs what, I might actually be able to do that here at some point through play. For now, have not sorted that out, so we're just going to go out and earn us some money. But let's get to it. Here is where this game really kicks off. And it's at sea. This, unlike a lot of other games, you can see my speed, 15. And we immediately have a looter hideout. But I'm able to get some really, really good speeds. There's a monastery. They're not going to buy anything, but we could heal there, or we could raid a monastery. But you're getting into negative opinions. Villages have supplies that you can buy, and that's definitely one of the cheapest places to buy said supplies. You do have to manage your sail. And you have to also manage avoiding. And the faster you go, the harder it is to manage, but you really need that speed. You really need that speed. This is our first little side quest. So let's go ahead and just enter this village. I'll show you what the village is like. So you have the village market. I'm already full, I don't have space, or silver for that matter, to buy anything. So we'll just close out. This is really not the place you want to sell your goods. But there's the Elder's Home. Militia Hall, this is your best place to recruit troops. It's much cheaper to get it in the villages than it is in the cities. You can see who is the holder of the settlement. So I don't want to just suddenly attack this place or rob this place, as we instantly go into negative and combat mode against them. And we're not strong enough to deal with any of that right now. See, there's some other ships out here. Usually the red and white sails, I've noticed, are the other factions, while the blue sails are the bandits. So apparently I'm the equivalent of a bandit right now. Alright, so on to Calping. Shut up, let's go to the end. Alright, so now we're starting to add in the additional quests. And you can see, just like our town, this is what we get in the larger cities. You can't really call them cities. The full-blown towns, anyway, as opposed to the small villages. But each of them have different goods, and that's where you kind of get into it. If you sell them something they already have, you're not going to get anything price-wise. But they have special needs like glass, wine, salt, or soapstone, which we would get surge pricing for. So if you can trade in the surge price items on some sort of circuit, you can make a lot of money fast. But in general, if you just sell them things they don't have, you're going to get more than what you paid for it. So the vegetables, the glass, the wheat, all at a higher price than what it was in our own town. So I can trade all of these and at least get some money out of it. Now, in return, I will fill with what they have. It's not bad on price. And then honey to top it off. And you can see we get $3.85 out of it, which means we're actually going to make a little bit of money. But we've also spent some in supplies. We're going to need to recover that as we head out. But now we at least have a little bit of silver, not quite back to what we started with, but our cargo hold is at least full, and that's going to help. Now, the bead house, that's where Astrid is. There's special item vendors. The Lord's Hall, when you control the place, like the one that I have, investing in the Lord's Hall is going to improve your prices and options on what's available. Blacksmith and armor for weapons and armor for your troops, and yourself for that matter. Barracks to hire more recruits, but again they're more expensive in town than they are in the village. But the shipyard, that's the big one. In the shipyard, yours or others, fix your ships, that's important, but also those upgrades. But you can already see we don't have the money for that now, and we certainly don't have the money to head off again. As you go to leave, you'll often get the option to resupply for a cost. Now, we have a full cargo hold, so in order to get anything else, we have to empty our cargo hold. And then, again, for the short term, our goal, our objective, is to make enough money to do something else. What are they into? Copper, amber, sugar. I don't have any of that on board, but again, I should be able to make some money. Now, they have fish already, so if I sell my fish here, that's not going to do any good. So we're going to sell the other 3, and then we'll fill up with coal in its place, and we're still coming out with a profit at least. here's where things get tricky. We have to resupply so we don't die out there at sea. But in terms of money, you can see we're up to 613 and full cargo hold. That's kind of that key, is we are making money in the actions we're doing currently. So the WS turns the sail, where AD allows you to manage the turning of the ship. It's a little wonky on the controls and trying to get used to it, but it's more about getting used to it. It's not that the controls are bad or anything, it's just it takes a little time to get used to it all. Alright, so another town, and really close together. Let's see, they like soapstone wine and beer. Again, we don't have any of that, but they do have totally different items. And this could be a good thing for us, because if we can do that, and we can do this. Oh, pay 131. Seriously? You don't care for those items? Coming out with more expensive items that I went in with, but we're gonna try it. So I come out paying a little bit, but maybe we're upgrading from really cheap items. Something a little better than the cargo hold. And I'm gonna turn right around. Go back to Aarhus. I want to try this and see what happens. It's such a short distance between these two towns, and see, we've gained enough experience. Day 14 now. Oh, it's every month that you get payment, but every week you get XP. I'm gonna see if we can just kind of direct link back and forth between these two. How much can we make? Let's see if we're actually gonna make something out of this. They don't have as much as they had before, but they do still have some coal and fish. And yeah, we get 400 out of it. It's not bad. But you can see they have not resupplied properly, so kind of can't do this long term. But we'll go one more time onto here and then move on. Alright, well this time we're cleaning them out, and we're at least still coming away with a little bit of money as we're kind of downgrading or upgrading what is in the cargo hold versus what we came in with. But it still ended up turning out to be a little profitable venture for us to go back and forth a couple times between these two towns. But we head back out to sea, and we are slowly getting to that point where finances are a little better off. Okay. Oh, actually, you know what? A village, not a bad thing. I'm gonna head to this village. I have one cargo hold empty. What can we get? Meat, beef, or wine. Wine's gonna pay out better. Let's go ahead and grab that wine. And go ahead and refill our supplies. That's fine. We're back to a full cargo hold, full supplies, and a little better. Now, out in the world, you can get supplies, but it's so hard once you get faster to slow down enough, and that's in such a tight place that I really don't want to mess with that. Where? There's the town back here. Village. There's a ship. That does look like it might be... Actually not sure who that is. Oh, but they're firing at me. It does not look like the Norse Marines. You can see I'm actually taking some quick damage on that. I need to get into Norland here. I'm not exactly in a position for combat currently. That's not good. I kind of got myself trapped in here. and they'll still be there when I leave. What are they like? Fish? Velvet honey spices. I had fish. Uh-oh. They do wine, so selling wine here, you can see I'll get less than what they've got for it, but we can at least get some money out of that. We won't fill up. We need to fix the ship. Luckily, it's not too expensive to fix your ship. And sometimes you kind of get into a combat scenario like we're in now. It looks like we're going to have to take this ship down. We're not going to have much of a choice in the matter. And it means I'm probably going to have to go out, fire at them, take some damage, and head back to port again, fix the ship, and do that a couple times. And let's see if we can pull that off. We're coming up right on the end of this episode, so this little combat stretch may or may not flip over to a quick time lapse to see how this one plays out, or at least after the initial. But let's see if we can survive. It looks like it's just one ship, and one ship's not as hard to deal with as 2 or 3 on it. But being quick doesn't always mean you're okay, because we're kind of trapped. That doesn't help. That doesn't help. We're in such a tight space here. See how hard it is to see just how hard it is to get the shots off and navigate the ship and know where your enemy is and deal damage. See, you hold down the mouse button and it adds range, but at the same time you have to try to aim on where you're clicking in the first place, and it's going to shoot past the point you want. So firing those arrows, it's not the easiest thing to do. It takes a lot of practice, and it's so much easier when you're out on the open sea than when you're stuck in this cove and you've got land on all sides and you've got a quick ship that wants to quickly go into the land. So you're trying to navigate the ship. You're also trying to fire back at the enemy and, you know, not die. But we're already back, and here we are having to go back and fix the ship once again. There's 100 silver just like that. So we've ultimately got to go out there and win this fight. And I don't have the troops to really board the ship. Yes, you can board ships, and you can fight virtually like land combat on top of the ships themselves. But I don't have the troops to do that, so I don't want to board. You see, we almost went into a boarding animation there. There we go. Okay, I did it. I did it. I sunk their boat. Alright, well, we're going to take that as our first stopping point. I have 4 warriors that are ready to upgrade, so our peasants are good to go on that. Still a little damage to the ship. Looks like there's more enemies out there. Enemy, beware. Yes, be very, very wary of them as you go out. But we're going to head back out and try to avoid them for now, because I don't need more combat once again. When our silver's gone back down a bit, so take the experience, and of course, there you go, moon. Alright, we'll end right here then, as we reach another. This is kind of a nice little area. We've got a pocket of towns close to each other. Difficult to sail, and there's definitely some bandits around, but it's a good way. They all have different trade items. and you could kind of back and forth between these places and make some decent money. They want wheat and milk. Let's go ahead and unload, and you can see we have added in a berserker axe and some gambeson armor, thanks to, let's go ahead and close this, thanks to our adventurers. Eric, ready to level up. Let's go ahead and add medical for him. He's got his first 5 points. Put those in. He is, he's got one here as well. Let's go ahead and get him some health. Alright, on to me. Before just selling this, which it's not going to sell for much anyway, I'm going to trade up and put this armor on myself. One-handed axe, sure, it's better than my sword. And then we'll just turn around and sell those even though they're cheap. But at least we are preparing ourselves for the future. Alright, well there's your first intro to the game. I do want to play this some more. I'm not sure how often we're going to have updates that are game-breaking and might involve restarting the campaign. And like I said, that game itself offers enough complications that that ship gets sunk. That's it. Everybody dies. Everybody drowns. You don't swim ashore and live to fight another day. You lose that flagship with no other ships, you're done. So it's a little complicated when it comes to that, and you're bound to kind of lose everything frequently. There you go. Nice payday on that one. Brings our money back up significantly. I like that. That's a good thing. Just fix that ship while we're here. Back to maximum durability. Alright, well there's the early game and the early look. Like I said, I want to keep this going. And in order to do that, it's going to come up to you and your help. No matter how many views I get on this first episode, second episode's not happening, not going anywhere unless you click that like button. I need to know that you want to see more of this. It's a smaller title. There's probably not going to be too many people that are really posting on this, but I'd like to. I'd like to go deeper into this game and see what it has to offer in time and through this early access journey. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, do hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.